It is time and a quorum has been formed. I call to order the meeting of the panel on administration of justice and legal services. Now we're still in the midst of the Chinese New Year. I wish all of you and also all the audience good health and good luck in the year of the horse. Item 1 on the agenda, information papers issued since the last meeting. Since the previous meeting, the Secretariat has issued 2 papers. That's paper CB brackets 395-2026-01, information paper provided by the Law Society of Hong Kong on the proposed amendments to the Solicitors General Cost Rules. The second one is CB brackets 3121-2026-01. Information paper provided by the Legal Aid Department on the annual reviews of financial eligibility limits of legal aid applicants and Director of Legal Aid's first charge. Since the issuance of the papers above, the Secretariat has not received any requests from members to discuss the papers. Item 2. Items for discussion at the next meeting. Please refer to paper CB brackets 3137-2026-01. List of outstanding items for discussion. Together with the Deputy Chairman, Mr. Holden Chow, we have met with the administration and also the Administrator of Justice on the 3rd of February to discuss the work plan of the panel for the year. That includes the suggestions made by members at the meeting on the 23rd of January. We have formulated a work plan according to the list of outstanding items for discussion and the updated list has been set out on the agenda. Next, the meeting on the 23rd of March. That's the next regular meeting. It will be held at 4:30 p.m. Monday, 23rd of March. The discussion items include proposal to amend the Evidence Ordinance Cap 8 and recent developments of solicitors practicing as a solicitor corporation. So these are the 2 items to be discussed in March. Subject to your further views, we move on to item 3. The business of today, Department of Justice's progress and work plan of rule of law education and promotion. Will the Secretary please invite the government representatives to come in? We have representatives from the DOJ, including Mr. Paul Lam, SC, Secretary for Justice, and his team, including Ms. Peggy Ao Young, Principal Government Counsel of the Legal Enhancement and Development Office, and Ms. Helen Kong. We also have representatives from the Bar Association and the Law Society. The chairman and the president of the 2 organizations are also here. I bring your attention to the following papers, CB brackets 3137-2026-02. That's the information paper, that's the discussion paper provided by the DOJ. The other one is provided by the Secretariat, that's CB brackets 3137-2026-03. A background brief. I will now invite members who would like to speak to press the request to speak button. This meeting should end at 5:30, depending on the number of speakers. Once again, we welcome Mr. Paul Lam, SC, Secretary of Justice, and his team, and also representatives from the Bar Association. That's Chairman, Mr. Jose Antonio Morelat, and Mr. Roden Tong, Presidents of the Law Society. When the Secretary is ready, I will invite Mr. Paul Lam to walk us through the paper. Thank you, Chair. Members, Chair, this is the 8th day of the Chinese New Year. I wish everyone here good health and good luck. Now back to the subject today. We all agree that The robust rule of law is the cornerstone of Hong Kong's high-quality development under one country, two systems. It is also the core strength that positions us as an international legal hub. To actively take forward the long-term policy priority to reinforce rule of law, we have been attaching great importance to the work on rule of law education, and we have been collaborating with stakeholders to foster correct understanding and awareness of the rule of law in a diverse manner. In promoting rule of law education, we are supported by stakeholders from all sectors. Of course, that includes the efforts made by electrical members. For example, Dr. Starry Lee, the president of the electrical. Since the start of the Role Stars Train the Leaders program, she has been our star lecturer to explain to trainees the functions of the SPPCC and also the Constitution. And Ms. Carmen Can is also a member of a working group and also the steering committee on rule of law education. There are also other electoral members who are involved in the working group's work that include Mr. Alex Fan and Mr. Fan Chenhua. We give our heartfelt thanks to your support and contribution. It shows that besides the leadership of the DOJ, we also relied on the active participation and support from the community to take forward rule of law education. This is a long-term work requiring support and collaboration from all sectors of society. We will continue to encourage different stakeholders to work towards the same goal. Now, first of all, some progress on the Role Stars Train the Leaders program. In February 2023, we have established the Steering Committee on Rule of Law Education to assist the DOJ on the strategy and program of the Rule of Law Education. It is chaired by me and vice-chaired by the Deputy Secretary for Justice with a broad membership. There are representatives from the relevant government bureaus and also representatives from the judicial and legal sectors and also the 3 law schools in Hong Kong. There are 2 working groups underneath the steering committee to take forward work on support and publicity. Now, the Role Star program has been kick-started in November 2023 to train up youth leaders in different sectors so that we can enhance the effect of rule of law education in society. Now, there are 3 parts in the program. The first is the foundation course, which through an interactive manner train the trainees on the concepts of and principles of rule of laws and also the relationship between national laws like the Constitution, Basic Law, and the Hong Kong National Security Law, and so on. The second one is advanced course. It focuses on strengthening trainees' understanding on the rule of law in practice. It includes visits to institutions like law enforcement agencies and mock court activities. Thirdly, extended course. It will enhance it and apply knowledge of the rule of law, and there are thematic talks. As of today, there have been 3 cohorts of the training program. By the end of 2025, there has been 380 trainees who have completed the program. They are representatives from 21 organizations engaged in promoting youth-related community work. There are also teachers from more than 100 secondary schools in Hong Kong and also students from the Education University of Hong Kong. Among them, 80 have completed the advanced course. 40 trainees have completed all the foundation course, the advanced and the extended course, thereby qualifying as role ambassadors. Now, according to the feedback from the trainees and other stakeholders, and also according to the latest meeting held on the 5th of March, on the 5th of February, and by the steering committee, we will roll out the 4th phase of the TTL program. We will organize a new round of the foundation, advanced, and extended courses. And also, we will organize an award ceremony cum sharing session to give formal recognition to the role ambassadors. Briefly speaking, we will be innovative while adhering to the original principles and targets. We will retain the main framework of the courses. Now, we need to offer sustained efforts in promoting rule of law education. We will continue to work with different stakeholders to do that. Now, for the innovative parts, we will continue to listen to views and adjust the contents of the training program. For example, adding interactive elements and add more real-life examples to make our course more in touch with our members. Now, I will now briefly report our plan for the next phase. First of all, we're launching a new round of the course. We will base our contents on the previous courses with appropriate modifications. For example, we will focus on explaining Article 23 and national security law, and also include contents from the white paper on upholding national security in Hong Kong. On basic law, we will emphasize that the executive-led system is the political structure of Hong Kong SAR under one country, two systems. We will include more real-life examples and cases to enhance the trainees' understandings of the political structure of the Hong Kong SAR. In terms of trainees' recruitment, we will plan to recruit around 120 trainees from district youth development and civic education committees, and also members from the Lions Club's International District Field 3, Hong Kong and Macau, China, and also members of the Rotary Club of Hong Kong. These organizations are important stakeholders in social services. With their extensive community service networks, we can disseminate the proper messages to different sectors of the community. We can also ask them to tell good stories of Hong Kong on different occasions. Now, on the advanced course, we will also base the contents on previous courses with enhancements. For example, in terms of visits to law enforcement agencies, there will be more interaction with law enforcement agents. That include the harm of new dangerous drugs and also the new trends in crime. Now, in mock court activities, we will also invite ambassadors and stakeholders from other activities to help trainees to conduct networking. Now, we intend to recruit 80 trainees to the advanced course. Concerning the new round of extended course, having taken into account trainees' feedback, this year's thematic talk will focus on common criminal offenses and civil disputes in the cyber world. We encourage trainees to share the information learned with others in their community, for example, how to use the cybernet safely. There will also be discussion on crimes involving deepfake technology, and also how to deal with online bullying and the use of mediation arbitration online. At the same time, we will also add real-life cases and examples on practice activities for promoting the rules of law. Besides providing opportunities for trainees to practice the promotion of rule of law through our activities, we will provide more information on these activities to trainees. We will continue to encourage trainees to take the initiative to organize rule of law activities and submit reports to the DOJ so as to strengthen the confidence of the trainees in teaching others. Now, to ensure participation in and completion of the courses, we have officially launched the Role Ambassador Recognition Scheme last year. Last year, 40 trainees have qualified as Role Ambassadors after completion of all the courses. We are greatly encouraged. In March 2026, that is next month, we will hold an award ceremony cum sharing session, during which the trainees will be invited to share their experience and given recognition. To ensure the role ambassadors would meet the required performance standards, we plan to set a 2-year validity period for the ambassador's qualification. And we will specify the conditions for renewal. For example, having organized activities to promote the rule of law and participating in our rule of law activities for a minimum number of hours, thereby encouraging the ambassadors to make sustained efforts in actively promoting the rule of law in their daily work and life. We will maintain close contacts with them and establish partnerships with them so as to provide timely assistance and support for the trainees and ambassadors. We will closely monitor the implementation of the arrangements and continue to improve the plan. For other rule of law education programs, besides the Role Star program, we plan to continue to organize the rule of law through drama projects in primary school. In May, we have held our first rule of law drama day at the Hong Kong Cultural Center. which aim to include rule of law education in daily life. So we plan to hold another round of Rule of Law Drama Day this year. Now we expect the 2 shows in March will attract some 1,500 audience in total. Now in terms of Rule of Law Journey, guided tour of landmarks of Hong Kong Legal Hub, we are regularizing the Rule of Law Journey. Now we have organized sessions for around 700 teachers and students from 21 secondary schools last year in the activity. Now our colleagues will collaborate with some 30 trainees in this year to train them up as docents and lead students on the Rule of Law journey together. We will also continue to make use of diverse channels like publications, online platforms, social media, and our websites to promote Rule of Law education. To conclude, we will continue to maintain close collaboration with government departments and community stakeholders to promote Rule of Law in a diverse manner, so as to enhance the public's understanding on the application of Rule of Law and safeguard the Rule of Law in society. I look forward to hearing from members so that we can continue to improve our work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, SJ, for the presentation. In terms of the Rule of Law Drama Day, I suggested members be invited to take part and give their feedback to the DOJ. I'd like to invite now Chairman of the Hong Kong Bar Association, Mr. Jose Morele, SC, to say a few words. I understand the Bar Council member, Mr. Charles Chen, would also like to speak. Please confine your speeches to 8 minutes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, SJ, I wish everyone every success in the Year of the Horse. The DOJ has been promoting Rule of Law education. The Bar Association is fully in support of that. We are practicing one country, common law under one country, two systems. All the stakeholders are holding fast to their positions and uphold rule of law. I don't think I need to be verbose regarding the importance of rule of law. Rule of law is not something for a single person. It's not something for the legal practitioners either. It is for everybody. Other than the legal practitioners, every single member of the public should understand the rule of law, and this concept would be important to upholding the rule of law. The Bar Association, regarding rule of law and judicial independence and so on, we have been speaking up on that. We have been organizing activities like international seminars, talks and training. We organize debates for the secondary school students. The Bar Association, in terms of rule of law and promotion of rule of law, continue with our work. Mr. Charles Chen, Bar Council member, sitting next to me, will be reporting to members how we support the promotion of rule of law education. Mr. Charles Chen, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. SJ, members, you probably noticed that we have been safeguarding the rule of law in the Bar Association. So we subscribe to the idea of promoting rule of law education. This is an important element. To this end, about 20 years ago, we set up the Civic Education Standing Committee. We had this committee up and running 20 years ago. As of today, there are 15 practicing barristers being members, and they are providing the services on a pro bono basis, and they are reaching out to different schools. And there are a lot of feedback that it would be really a good idea for barristers to go back to their alma mater to promote rule of law education. It would reinforce the idea of rule of law, and it would certainly be standing the students in good stead. And students are taken to the court to observe the court proceedings, and the objectives are sufficiently clear. And this is very much a mission for the Bar Association. In organizing these activities and all the collaborative work, we uphold our tradition of educating society about rule of law. We've heard a lot of positive feedback, and that we do take encouragement from these positive feedback. A moment ago, the SJ referred to a lot of specific suggestions. The Bar Association is really appreciative of the work undertaken by the steering committee on the rule of law education. We subscribe to the blueprint that they've outlined, and there is a sense of mission there. In terms of the Role Stars Train the Leaders program, TTL program, it is a very good framework. We can achieve statistical results. It is also achieving very good results. Not only do we see an upsurge in the number of participants, we can also reinforce the concept of the rule of law. We can cover the breadth and the depth of the program. Now we have two committees, the working group on course design, the working group on liaison, and the Bar Association is involved in the working group on liaison, and this is also part of our efforts to take forward rule of law education. We're working together with collaboratively with the DOJ and the steering committee. The Bar Association would pay special attention to the work of the steering committee, and going forward, we'd like to be taking part in this more. There are 3 points I'd like to make for the SJ and also his team, and we will be working collaboratively with the DOJ. First, we agree with the idea of the role ambassador recognition scheme, because this will build on the existing system and take the idea further forward. And we have the extended courses, and a lot of feedback is telling us that the participants are able to understand or to grasp the rule of law concept in an easy-to-understand manner. And there is also a lot of media coverage, and this is all very positive. It was also mentioned that in the coming year, the responsible and safe use of the cyberspace is an important step. It is a positive reaction to the prevalence of the cyber world use. And also the role ambassador, they get recognized, and this scheme should be encouraged, because this can become some sort of a benchmark for the participant to aspire to, and this would produce a really positive and tangible results. The ambassadors are encouraged to organize activities, and this is very far-sighted move. And also the drama day, I've also taken part myself, and I can see that the students, the parents, and indeed people from diverse backgrounds are taking part enthusiastically in this exercise. Not only do they enjoy a fun afternoon, they are also grasping the concepts. I want to keep you in suspense here. I don't really want to go into too much about it. And there are some important figures who will be appearing in this drama, and they are really practicing what they preach, and they are taking part really enthusiastically. Finally, the Bar Association and the Bar Council will continue to take part in this exercise to safeguard the rule of law education, and this is very much part of our mission. The Bar Association anticipates or aspires to have further collaboration with the DOJ, the steering committee, and all the stakeholders so that we can be part of this important and meaningful exercise. Thank you. Thanks very much, Mr. Charles Chen. I fully recommend this drama day. I urge you all to take part in this rule of law drama day. The parents, the teachers, and the students are really so excited about this event. It is well worth our efforts to reach out to the community. So on the May 16th and 17th, if members can spare the time and subject to the agreement of the DOJ, I hope that you would be part of this event. Next, I'd like to call upon Mr. Roden Tong, President of the Law Society of Hong Kong. Please confine yourselves to the same stretch of time. Madam Chair, wish everyone a happy Year of the Horse. Now, as we said, the rule of law is the cornerstone of prosperity and stability, and rule of law education is really underpinning all of that. The Law Society has been promoting this in particular among the young people. The Law Society is a regulating body, regulating the profession. We're also promoting rule of law for Hong Kong. We have 14,000 lawyers from diverse backgrounds to impart their in-depth knowledge in the community. We are providing in-depth and specific targeted promotion of the rule of law. I'd like to confine myself in interest of time to what we're doing locally. At the local level, we have been doing this for an awful long time. We have 30 years of experience of organizing the legal week. Since 1991, we have been building on the success of the previous years. 2025 Legal Week emphasizes the cross-sectoral collaboration. We're providing pro bono legal service and real-life experience so that people would be more exposed to the knowledge of the rule of law. For young people, since 2009, we have organized the Teen Talk program at 1,800 from 400 or so schools are taking part in this Teen Talk program. The lawyers are serving as voluntary mentors, and they are guiding the students, and they are applying the concept of law to day-to-day life. And we're also promoting the pro bono services. Over the past year, we've organized well over 140 school and community talks. Through interactive and interesting talks, we should be able to disseminate the right concept that will stand them in good stead for life. We also understand we have to converge forces from different quarters to achieve synergy. We have been collaborating with stakeholders and government departments. We work with the DOJ, the Civil Education Committee, the FSD, Police, Custom and Excise, ICAC. We do maintain close collaboration there to promote rule of law education at different levels. We also cut across the geographical boundaries at the national level. We work with the institutions in Beijing and Shanghai, the Peking University, the People's University, and other universities in the mainland to teach the common law courses to train up the right caliber people. The Law Society is also extending our cooperation with other countries, like a cooperation with Korea, and our collaborative exchange program with Malaysia to broaden the practitioners' horizon, and also to promote rule of law. Peering ahead. We will continue with our work. We'll do more of the same. We will achieve more synergistic effect and build closer partnership with the DOJ and organize more education programs that will be more productive. And I'd like to extend my thanks to the DOJ for their support for our work. We hope that the government will give us more support, in particular in terms of the venue availability. Perhaps that we can have the landmark tour at the Hong Kong Legal Hub. I know that the DOJ is working with the Hague Committee. There is the cooperation arrangement, so the young practitioners in Hong Kong can be seconded to Hague for more exposure. We look forward to more cooperation going forward, so the Hong Kong practitioners will have better understanding of the international organizations and broaden the horizon and bring back more expertise to Hong Kong. We will explore more ways to interact with the members of the public and work collaboratively with the general public so that we can have good rule of law education. Will play a guiding role there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roden Tong. Now the floor is open to members. I will read out the names of the members. You will each have 4 minutes. Mr. Nick Chan, Thomas So, Professor Priscilla Leung, Mr. Alex Fan, Deputy Chairman Holden Chow, Mr. Wu Yingpang, Dennis Leung, and Dr. Julius Ho. Mr. Nick Chan, thank you, Chair. Now, the Bar Association and the Law Society have contributed a lot to the rule of law education effort. So we all knew that we would be blessed by the presence of the Secretary for Justice today, so we applaud him. Now, some questions. The Role Stars Train the Leaders program will have its 4th phase started soon. So will there be an additional element on how our common law legal system can enhance our international competitiveness? This will help us understand the robustness and the benefits of one country, two systems. Now, the foundation course syllabus will be extended to cover members from 21 organizations, and the trainees will include teachers from secondary schools as well. But what about primary school teachers? We should start inculcating a sense of rule of law from a young age. In terms of diversity, will there be mock arbitration and mediation activities? Secretary, thank you. One key feature of our rule of law is that we enjoy the support of the country under one country, two systems, and we are an international hub. It defines Hong Kong, so that is already included in our syllabus. Concerning extending the program to primary school teachers, we have been extending the reach of our program, but there is another indirect program targeting primary school teachers. The students from the Education University of Hong Kong some of them will become primary school teachers in future. So we are prioritizing secondary school teachers first, but we are not leaving any groups out. There will be sufficient opportunities for youth leaders and also teachers from all kinds of schools to participate. Concerning mock mediation, now we have the mock court activities in the previous program. So in terms of mock arbitration and mediation, if time allows, we will definitely consider including this as well. But there is so much we want to do. We have to be pragmatic because it requires time from both the trainees and our trainers. Now we have been adjusting the contents of our program according to trainees' feedback. In our courses, we have touched upon different disputes resolution services, including arbitration and mediation. But if time allows, we will consider including these elements. Next, Dr. Thomas So. Thank you, Chair. I thank the Bar Association and the Law Society for their past contribution in advancing rule of law education. And I'm all for this Road Stars program. Once again, I thanks the DOJ for its work. I would like to follow up on Mr. Nick Chan's question. There are mock court activities for the trainees to participate in. As Mr. Paul Lam said just now, the idea and concepts of mediation will be included in the foundation course. Now, the country designates that Hong Kong will be the seat of the International Organization of Mediation in Asia. But actually, not many people understand the concept of mediation. So I understand there is time constraints. But the DOJ should really consider popularizing the idea of mediation. This is something that the country and the Hong Kong SAR government are taking forward. So we need to help the role ambassador understand the concepts of mediation more. Unlike arbitration, arbitration mostly concerns commercial disputes, but mediation covers even daily matters like familial disputes. So I hope the DOJ would consider including mock mediation activities to enrich the contents of the courses. And I'm also pleased to see that there will be thematic talks on certain issues. That's in paragraph 19. There's the theme of common criminal offenses and civil disputes in the cyber world, and also talks about developments in cyber crimes and deepfakes. Now, just this month, the police force has published the 2025 Law and Order Situation. Offenses involving child abuse and youth drug trafficking have seen significant increase. So we need to step up on school campus education. So maybe we can do this in the next cohort of the Road Star program. In designing the thematic talk, we should keep pace with the developments in society. Maybe we can make reference to the yearly Law and Order report from the police force, especially on youth crimes. That's how we can strengthen the rule of law concept among the youth. Secretary. Thank you, Dr. Thomas So. All your points echo what we are planning. In terms of mediation, it seems that many people are still confused between arbitration and mediation. Now, for everyday matters, mediation may be a more suitable approach to resolve dispute. So besides the Road Stars program, the DOJ has been promoting mediation through various activities. That includes taking lead in adopting mediation as a dispute resolution approach. That includes adding mediation as a preferred course of action in government's contracts. And there will also be other suggestions and proposals in widely adopting mediation. In May, there will be a mediation conference targeting youth groups and schools. So besides Role Stars, there are other programs to popularize the use of mediation in society. Of course, we will also increase the contents in relation to mediation in the Role Stars program. Now about the extended course and the themes. We chose the topic of cybercrime because we have gauged the views of our recipients, that is, the youth. Now, like Dr. Thomas So said, when it comes to the youth, dangerous drugs is an important topic. So we will take our trainees to visit law enforcement agencies, and there will be talks delivered by the law enforcement agents concerning the danger of drugs. So at all three stages of the program, there will be elements involving dangerous drugs and other youth crimes. So you are right, we will keep tab of the general trend of crime in Hong Kong and engage in in-depth discussion and sharing with our trainees on topics which are important to them. Professor Priscilla Leung. Thank you, Chair. First of all, I congratulate the DOJ for their success in the past few years in terms of rule of law education. Now, the moment is opportune for us to take forward rule of law education. I have three questions. I agree that there's so much that we want to do. So the DOJ is trying to extend the rule of law education to secondary school teachers and other youth groups. So will the participating schools and organizations be required to chip in on the course as well? Or will the DOJ bear the course in its entirety? Now, we have a very favorable rule of law situation in Hong Kong right now. So maybe it's time to reach out to international schools and also international communities in Hong Kong, and also talents who have just moved to Hong Kong via the various talent scheme. Rule of law is a brand of Hong Kong, but we also need to send a message that we will enforce the law as and when necessary. We need to send a message that compliance of the law is important for economic and societal development. We need to enlist the help of our international communities in Hong Kong to promote the brand of rule of law to the wider world. Now, the 2 years validity of the role ambassador, is it like other professions that the professionals need to engage in continuous professional education to retain their qualification? Secretary. Now, resources are an issue, but we are bearing the cost with our internal resources. All the participating organizations need not pay a dime. So the CP value is really high for this course. Now, resources are a constraint that includes financial resources and manpower resources. Our colleagues have other duties to take care of, but we are doing our best. Now we have a lot of different groups in Hong Kong that includes ethnic minorities and new talents. Now the idea of the Role Stars Train the Leader program is to reach out to the educators and then further reach out to the youth. So we make no distinction between their places of birth and also their ethnicities. Now in the program, I have talked to members from ethnic minority groups. I don't know whether they were born in Hong Kong, but they are all trainees of the program. So regardless of their background, as long as they are living in Hong Kong, then they need to understand and share the same set of values in terms of rule of law. Now, third question, there is a 2-year validity period. Now, the Role Stars program empowers these ambassadors so that the ambassadors will help us disseminate basic information on rule of law and also knowledge about our constitutional orders to the community. So there is a 2-year validity period for the ambassadors. And there is a renewal requirement. For example, they must organize rule of law education activities on their own. And they must serve as, say, docents in visits to law enforcement agencies. They need to put what they learned from us into practice. They need to disseminate the information to the wider community. So this is our expectation for them. So through the 2-year validity period, we encourage the ambassadors to do what they should do. The renewal is a form of recognition, and there may be other forms of recognition in the future. So the idea is to encourage the ambassadors to spread the message further on so that we can reach every corner of society.
If I may add, Madam Chair, as member of the committee, we are actually train the leaders program, and we very much hope that the trainees will pass on the message from one generation to another. So we're going to be passing this on. Next, Professor Alex Fan. Madam Chair, thank you. As the SJ said, I'm really privileged enough to be able to take part in the working group on liaison under the steering committee on rule of law education. I'm grateful to the SJ, the Bar Association, the Law Society for their support of the rule of law education. Now we talk about rule of law. People tend to get the feeling that it is a little bit boring. As a lawyer myself, I keep saying that it is a boring job, reading all these documents. But in this exercise, we have visits, we have drama, and it is a very rich content. And I'm really grateful to the DOJ for taking this forward. My question was touched on by other members before. I go along with the SJ that we should have all these layers, that we should train the leaders first in secondary schools. It seems that we're covering about 100 schools and 21 organizations. My question is, would there be any targeted measure to increase the coverage at the secondary school level? We have 400 or so secondary schools in Hong Kong, and we are covering about 100 or so. What are you going to be doing next? Second, I've got another question and a suggestion. My understanding is that since 2022, the Education Bureau has the civic education program to nurture the sense of patriotism and a sense of affinity for Hong Kong. They start with the large organizations like Tonghua Group and Paul Leung Cook, and then they move on to smaller size organizations, and they're also approaching the secondary school councils, and they're also partnering with some of the mainland enterprises to do the job. Now, Professor Leung asked the question a moment ago as to how we can do more of this. Now, with resources, we are basically not just talking about money, we're also talking about human resources. I'm wondering whether we should broaden out this particular TTL program. I wonder whether the SJ has got any grand ideas. SJ, thanks very much. Alex, now for the comments and the questions. First off, on your first question, statistically, we are covering about 100 secondary schools in Hong Kong. Now, how do we identify them? We have the steering committee. It's not just the SJ. The steering committee is composed of other bureaus, policy bureaus, not least the education bureau. So when we pick and choose every year, we have to consider the targets. Are we targeting at the teachers and other stakeholders? Now, how do we identify the teachers? It's hard for us to knock on the door of every single school. So we need to have the assistance of associations. We have a lot of principal associations and teachers associations. Through them, we try to identify the schools and teachers, and they will sign up for that. We may not be able to satisfy the demand all in one go. So that's why we are relaunching these programs. There is a keen demand for that. So continuously, we will be getting in touch with schools that we didn't otherwise have the opportunity to get in touch with. But it is a matter of timing. I'm grateful to you for mentioning the program to engender a sense of affinity for Hong Kong. We have to identify the needs, and we need to mobilize our resources. So we keep our options open. Many thanks, Alex, for suggesting this. We'll do more in this regard. Vice Chair, Mr. Holden Chow. Madam Chair, thank you. In terms of rule of law education, the SJ, indeed, the DOJ has been doing a lot of work, and they have produced tangible results. My first question is, according to the paper, there are 100 secondary school teachers taking part in the rule of law education program, i.e. the TTL program. The teachers are leading the students, and they are given the opportunity to take part in the education. And it would be a good idea for them to disseminate the message to the students. This is terribly important. Now we have 100 secondary schools on the list, and the teachers are part of this program. How can we make sure that we are going to have more incentives? They're not just taking part for formality. I'm sure that through this TTL program, they would be incentivized to do more. They will be galvanized to do more in their own schools. In a school, it would be up to the teachers to do what they see fit. But if they do have the incentive to do more, if they really feel incentivized to pass on the rule of law education, then I'm sure that we would be able to achieve better results. Like myself, I'm a lawyer. If the legal practitioners can pass on the rule of law education to the students, we would certainly derive a sense of fulfillment from that. So for the teachers in these 100 schools, how can we galvanize them to do more on a voluntary basis for the benefit of the students. Second, the paper also mentions that there are 40 ambassadors under the TTL program, and this is really all well and good. And I'm sure that there will be more and more participants taking part in the TTL program. Will the SJ consider increasing the number of ambassadors so that more people who are committed enough would be able to take part? And Education University, they're training the teachers, and this is also very important. I agree with this arrangement because it is these teachers, these trainees or undergraduates who are teaching the students, and I'm more concerned about this. SJ, well, the first question, it is a practical issue. How can we increase the incentive? We all understand that the Education Bureau does have a lot of guidelines for the teachers to disseminate messages in connection with the Constitution, the Basic Law, and so on. So first, we're rendering assistance so that in the course of their work, and they would feel more confident, they would find it more convenient, that they want to find out more about this, and with our assistance, they would find it easier for them to do their work. And this is one of the incentives. I hope that they will also derive a sense of satisfaction out of this. This has been going on for a number of years, and we're entering into the fourth year. We just completed the first cycle for the foundation course, advanced course, and the extended course. And it seems that this is in line with our expectations. Now, how can we enhance that? By incentivizing the participants. We'll have a word with the Education Bureau as to how we can make this more interesting and meaningful for the teachers to do more of the same going forward. Second, about the Education University, and also about the ambassador, the number of ambassadors. As long as you completed the foundation course, advanced course, and extended course, you will be entitled to become the ambassador. And you still have to continue to practice, and the more people who come through the TTL programs, the more ambassadors there will be. And we hope that we will be able to build up the number of ambassadors that they will become the new crop of ambassadors who will be devoting their time and efforts in a committed way to promote rule of law education. I hope that there will be a group of ambassadors who will be taking forward the rule of law education in Hong Kong, and this remains our long-term objective. I'd like to extend the meeting by 15 minutes. Mr. Wu Yin-pan, Madam Chair, SJ, Hong Kong is a sophisticated society with rule of law, and we have very good rule of law infrastructure. We have the IOMAT, which was just created. This is playing a very important role for the country. I know that the DOJ, the Bar Association, the Law Society have been doing an awful lot in promoting rule of law education. This covers Constitution, the NSL, the Basic Law, and all the rest of it. Will the Secretary be broadening the scope by cooperating with the IOMET, and also by educating people about how the nation is really promoting world peace in a legal manner, and what role can Hong Kong play in this regard?
Hi.
Secretary, please. Thank you, Mr. Wu, for your question. All the points you mentioned are important, but we have to go back to the original intention of the Road Star program. We are not trying to train up legal professionals. Through the program, we want everyone to have a grasp of the basic concepts and knowledge of rule of law. So we will start with the most basic elements. So this is the emphasis of the program. We have to bear in mind that our trainees are not lawyers, and most of them will not become lawyers in the future. The targeted audience for this group of trainers are mostly the youth and even children. Now, in terms of what you've mentioned, we are delivering that through other programs. For example, we have the International Legal Talent Academy. The academy touches upon the development of foreign-related law in the country. There are also international laws elements. So for the more complicated aspects of law, we would disseminate those knowledge to a suitable cohort of audience. Mr. Dennis Leung. Chair, I'm aware that under the leadership of the DOJ, the Road Stars Train the Leader program has been a success. We are now on to the second cycle of the course, and it has become a very good platform for collaboration and cooperation. Now, it is very important to educate our next generation about the concept of rule of law so that they will abide by the law. I think there is a lack of suitable teaching materials in schools concerning rule of law. Now, I noticed that the DOJ has, the Development Bureau has created a set of teaching materials to reach out to schools. So I hope the DOJ can do that as well. The Bar Association and the Law Society should help schools to disseminate rule of law message in classes. So I think we can come up with more ideas to do better in terms of reaching out to schools in the next 3 years, so that students have a better understanding of the developments of the country's laws as well as the Constitution and the basic law. Secretary, thank you. Now, under the pragmatic approach, there are only a certain number of trainers that we can train up. Teaching materials are also important. We have a lot of PowerPoint materials in the foundation courses. So those PowerPoints can be used as teaching materials. So the idea is that the trainees can use the PowerPoint materials to train others. They will have access to the complete set of training materials. So we would demonstrate how to disseminate that set of information first, so that the trainees will understand how they can teach others. But Mr. Dennis Leung's point has been taken. We will make sure that our teaching materials are comprehensive. Now, for non-legal professionals, even with a full set of teaching materials available, they may still lack confidence in teaching others. So that's what we are doing. We are giving the trainees confidence to educate others. Now, all the teaching materials in the course are available in the public domain. The idea is to give access to these materials to everyone who is interested. Dr. Junius Ho, Secretary, allow me to be pessimistic. Now, the steering group has held 5 meetings. I mean, the steering committee on rule of law education. I believe all of you are hardworking, but the output falls short of the standard. After 2 years' time, there are only some 300 trainees trained, and there are 40 role ambassadors in the end. So over the span of 2 years, 100 schools and other stakeholders have participated. Let's say there are 10 teachers from each school. Well, this is just basic. I was hoping there would be 1,000 teachers from the 100 schools at all 3 levels of courses. Well, actually, the courses are not difficult. This is not a law degree program, so 1,000 is a minimum. There should be at least 2,000 after 2 years. Now, the idea is to popularize the knowledge, but now you are like organizing an elite class. There are only 300 after so much effort. I think you should have a higher target. Now we have the Bar Association and the Law Society here. Now during the Law Week, the Law Society spends a huge amount of money on organizing an event. I'm also from the Law Society. They are rich. There are lots of young lawyers to back up the activity. Now, the DOJ in the commanding position should arouse interest in the public. So you should enlist the help from the Law Society. Now, international pro bono services. I've been promoting national security education since many years ago. There have been 8 cohorts of students which I have taught up. In my own accredited course, I've trained up 600 trainees. Among them, 483 of them have acquired qualification as lecturers on national security education. Now also within the disciplinary services, some 10,000 colleagues have received similar training. Now Thomas Sowell, Priscilla, and Carmen Can, they are also our lecturers. We have limited resources. In the entire program, our budget is only $800,000, but our output is high. So here I pledge my service to you. I really want the DOJ to succeed. So I know we have received a report concerning this program last time. I questioned the benefits of the course because it seems that there is no way forward for the graduates. We need to impose obligations and duties on the trainees for them to continue to shine. Dr. Junius Ho, I don't think you are pessimistic. I thank you for your encouragement. Now, rule of law education is not something that can be done by the DOJ on its own. So besides Dr. Junius Ho's organization, the Bar Association and the Law Society are also contributing on their own. Now, if you ask me, my expectation is even higher than Dr. Junius Ho, but we need to think about the reality. The DOJ is burdened with a lot of work. Now, the office in charge of this program also has other duties to discharge. So besides lectures, there are lots of activities as well. For example, mock court activities and mock mediation activities, as some members have suggested. We need to arrange for a venue. We need to arrange for the facilitator and coordinators. Now, besides number, we are very eager to include more interactive elements in the activity. Yes, we can expand the size of the classes to 1,000, but that would weaken the interactive elements. We don't want the programs to be one-way traffic. There must be a lot of interactiveness. So bearing that in mind, we have to slim down the size of the classes. We want pragmatic and interactive elements in our programs, and considering the limitations of our resources, the number is the best we can achieve, given all the constraints. But of course, if circumstances allow, we surely want to do better, like Dr. Junius Ho said. And we thank Dr. Junius Ho for his offer of help. So in the future, we will surely enlist help from Dr. Junius Ho, fellow members, and the Bar Association and the Law Society. Now, the rule of law education is only one aspect of our work. We will work with different stakeholders in achieving our goals. Thank you, Secretary for Justice. I think the Secretary has heard the views from members as well as the Bar Association and the Law Society. We all attach importance to rule of law education. So I think it is very encouraging that all members here and the two legal bodies have pledged to help to the DOJ. So all members have spoken. That concludes this item. Once again, I thank the DOJ and the two legal bodies for attendance. Sorry, Chair, I missed out something. I will surely invite members to participate on the Legal Drama Day in May. There will be surprises. Thank you. So all are invited. So that concludes the item. Thank you. Next item, any other business? There being none, the meeting is adjourned. Let's meet again in March. Thank you.